everyone, welcome to episode 28 of Backpacks and Stories. Just before the episode starts, I want to give a little bit of context. So I'm recording with my new camera, but I'm still getting used to it. So unfortunately I recorded in double speed and there was no audio. So the first half of the interview is unfortunately gone, but the second half I think we had a really good chat. I really enjoyed it. So this is with my friend Penelope from Guadalajara in Mexico. And we hope to come back for another episode for some more context and a bit more of her story. I hope you enjoy. Okay, technical difficulties for the second time.
Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. What's the name of your dad?
Mark.
Mr. Mark. Welcome back.
What's the name of your parents?
Sergio and Lourdes.
And
Lourdes.
Lourdes.
That's difficult too. We like complicated names.
What are your brothers' names?
They are easy. Misael and Bruno. Yours?
Natasha.
Natasha.
Yeah. But she goes by Tasha.
I like. Easy to write. Yeah. They brought the vibe, the camera.
Yeah. So we were just complaining about English people.
No.
What do you get taught in history in school about like colonization and stuff?
About the Spanish people?
Yeah.
That they bought us with mirrors. And
they bought you with meters?
With mirrors. That they brought mirrors for the indigenous people. And they
meters?
Mirror. Like to see yourself?
Mirror.
Mirror. Yeah? Mirror.
Sorry.
It was the first time they would see themselves.
Okay.
And that they were scared of them because they came in shiny armor. And what else? That they robbed a lot of things. But also to be thankful because they brought the church. Before we were savages. Now we've been pointing to the right direction. That's the other thing they say. What else they say? That thanks to them we speak Spanish and not dialects.
Well, no, they weren't dialects. They were.
No. It's very pro-colonization, the storybook.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, really? Is that the same? I can't imagine that's the same in all of Mexico, though.
I think all countries have their own Quebec, that they want to be independent and everything. We have Yucatan. Yeah. They are in the bottom.
They want to be independent.
Yeah. But only they will tell you everybody listens to them. The rest of the country, we don't listen to them. They have their own flag. They say they are so rich, they can be independent, they need nobody. They are still, they speak Maya. Mm-hmm. They have their food, they have really nice things.
But do you get taught Maya in school?
No, we don't get taught nothing.
Do you know anyone who speaks Maya?
Yeah, my friends from Yucatan.
Okay.
But not even fluid, a word here and there.
But in Jalisco, are there any other native languages?
There are. I think there is thousands, but the thing is that we are too colonized now, and if you... It's kind of sad because, for example, my parents, my friends, they will tell you, you look dark with that t-shirt. Like that's something bad. The color of her skin. You're looking like an Indian person, like an Aboriginal. Like we are.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Or that name of like indigenous. Your clothes, your this. We are anti ourselves. So people get bullied. Mm-hmm. The indigenous don't want to be indigenous anymore. They don't want to wear their traditional clothes because they're told things. They can't work. We don't make fun of them, their faces. You look Mayan, you look Aztec. Aztec nose you have.
Yeah.
So it's sad because a lot of the languages and everything has been dying. They don't want to learn anymore. The culture is kind of dying. Now it's like a boom. Someone from I don't know where, foreigner person, picked up on some of them. I don't know the name. Like hickories, I don't know what they're called, but it's like little colored beads, and they make shapes, they make animals with them, and someone popularized them, like Frida Kahlo.
Yeah.
That they're selling that image now, and now all of a sudden now it's fashion. Now it's okay to wear that.
Yeah, and that's really upsetting that it has to be someone from the West who goes and
It is like that.
benefits from.
It's kind of sad.
Yeah.
I think it's changing slowly, but if someone from the West doesn't tell us, it's nice. We're like we have to be like them.
Seeking
approval from the
colonizers. That's crazy.
They tell you you go to Latin America and they say you have to improve the race. Like marry a white person, get white children. It's still 2025. Yeah.
I mean, it works for us. It goes in our favor, but it's not a good thing. It's not a good thing.
No, in England, do they say go marry a Latino person?
Not specifically. I that's it's a conversation that we don't really have. You know.
No.
No, because I think in England everything's very mixed now. You know, like I grew up with friends from not all over the world because we didn't really have Latinos, but I grew up with friends from India, Pakistan, Turkey, Poland, Jamaica, Nigeria. Like there's people from all over the world, and it's very. And that's what I was getting to before. Like I think British culture, true British culture, is a mix of everything. Mm-hmm. You know, and that's the beauty of it. That's the really beautiful side about British culture, that we built everything together and we are very mixed. Yeah. But I also have a skewed perception because I looked this up recently, and it's still something like 80% of the population is white British. Oh. It's a big yeah. But when you go there and you see, it doesn't feel like that. I don't know. You went to Paul, you said. Mm-hmm. Was it very white people? Yeah.
Yeah. But here I met a guy. I swear when I saw him, he was Indian.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hi, how are you? Blah blah. And he tells me, oh, I came from Vancouver, Indian. And I was like, what part of India are you from? And he is. Sorry, I'm from London. Oh, sorry to me. Excuse me, man. Yeah. So that I get that too.
Yeah. Second, third generation. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I have a friend who I did an episode with as well, and he was born in India, but he moved to the UK when he was like 1 month. Or he moved to New York when he was 1 month old, and then he lived in the UK for basically his whole life. So I asked him that question, like, how do you feel? Do you identify as British or Indian? And it's a mix of both.
He says a mix.
Yeah.
That is, I do wonder what happens with those kind of people. I met another one in Vancouver. 100% he looks Indian. And because I was in university in Vancouver with a lot of Indian people that identify themselves as Indian, they will teach me Hindi, Punjabi, whatever. And it was,
they taught you Hindi and Punjabi.
Just phrases, but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And when I met him, I'm like, oh, nice to meet you, blah, blah, blah. And then he asked me where I'm from, and I asked him, where are you from? He's like, what do you mean? I'm Canadian, I'm from Vancouver. And I'm like, sorry, man, sorry. He has never been to India. His parents are Indian, like they identify themselves as Indian. But I'm like, that must be very frustrating because he told me he goes to Mexico and he's like, I don't get it because all of my friends, white, tell me that they get this magic treatment, but when I go, I'm treated like someone else. And I'm like, yeah, because you look Indian, you don't look white. So I thought that must be very confusing inside, that you are one thing, but you look like something else and people assume you're something else. Mm-hmm. Oh, that is kind of... And I do wonder if I improve the race, and if I do marry a white man, how are the kids gonna feel? What are they?
Yeah. Yeah, because I think there's some kind of level of disconnection as well. You know, like when you go further, maintaining the culture, passing down the culture How do you think you would do that if you live on the other side of the world?
I will speak Spanish to the kids, and they will have to go to Mexico for the summer or the winter, and they have to be there alone and suffer, and then I come back and pick them up. When I came here, I was with my friends.
Mm-hmm.
We were a group of Mexican friends, and we would see the things that the white people, Canadian people did. We are like, man, I'm happy we were born in Mexico because we have like our little tricks, but these ones were never exposed to that. We felt they were kind of innocent in some sense, like they will believe you things like a kid because they don't see the evil or that thing that we have in Mexico. I don't know if it's the same in England. Well, not in London.
Some things for sure. Can you give some examples?
You go and you have to be looking at your bag because
in London, yeah.
someone is gonna go get it.
In London, yeah.
In here, I don't feel they have their fear.
No. In general, Montreal feels very safe.
You leave something and you are like, let me come back to see if it's there. In Mexico, it's gone. You're angry. You don't even bother coming back.
Yeah. But what were some things that, like in reverse of that, what are some things here that you feel like they learned that you hadn't learned when you arrived?
Exposed to multicultural people. They know the others exist. They were not when they saw a Jewish person for the first time, they had it from the beginning. They know that other countries have things. They are kind of exposed to that. In Mexico, we're not as exposed.
Wow. Now I think maybe a bit more, but
yeah, now.
But before you left, no.
No. Having like I don't know, Chinese classmate, never. We had maybe one person from the States, and we're like, wow, And here they have everything, and it's not wow because that's just what it is. And in here, like, I go to my friend's house and their mom made me this traditional dish. In Mexico, she's just going to give you the same. That is something nice. And also, it's kind of nice to not have that fear. I don't know if that ever will go away from me. Even here, if it's 10, 11 p.m. and I'm outside on my own, I don't feel safe.
Yeah.
I think nothing is gonna happen to me, but I can't turn it off. You see me weird and I'm
It's strange, but I don't know. For me, I feel somehow I feel safer in Latin America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Darius, I cannot. No, I don't know how.
I don't know if that's just me being really, really naive, or just that I feel more confident when I'm there. You know, it might be nice. That. But like I'm chilling when I'm there. I'm walking down the street.
I'm envious of that.
But maybe that's me being really naive at the same time.
It's your
well, it doesn't matter until I do get attacked.
But if you get, you're gonna get anyway, even if you're worried or not. So I'm worried and nothing happens. You're not worried and nothing happens.
That's a fair point. No, but if you do end up going to Australia,
it's safe.
Well, it still has its things, but in general, yeah. Like I knew a lot of female friends who said they used to walk around in Sydney at 2 or 3 in the morning, no problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
To me, it's always, I don't know also if it's a girl thing. If I see a dark corner, for sure, in my mind, for sure, the raper is there, waiting for me to pass. So I would. If someone is there, I don't know. That's in my head.
But has someone ever like come out to attack you?
Nah.
Okay.
Do you see? No.
No, but I understand. You know, you need to be cautious. Unfortunately.
Yeah, I do want to travel more on my own. I would really love to, but I think it's more like a dream because sometimes I see myself and I see any other person and I think everybody is bigger than me, unless it's a kid or another girl. So if someone wants to harm me, it's very easy.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't have security or whatever. Like if someone tells me now, go to Turkey, everything paid, go on your own, I'll think twice.
You think twice?
Yeah.
Yeah. A
I
free
would
holiday.
think- I would like to, but I'll be like.
Still feel cautious. Yeah, I get that. But you could go to a safer place like, you know, I don't know, Dubai or Singapore. But it's not the same experience.
This is strange. I don't know. I don't know.
There's no perfect solution. Everyone has their own kind of perks and benefits, and I understand that I'm very fortunate in that sense, like being a white male of a reasonable build.
Yeah.
Like I don't really have to worry about those things too much. Of course, I still have to be conscious of what's going on around, but yeah, I don't need to be looking over my shoulder every 5 minutes.
Yeah. Something that I have a group of gay friends here, and something that they told me that I was like, you get to do that? That's unfair. Because they were like, oh, I'm gonna go on a date with this man, but if he wants to do anything that I'm not comfortable with, I'm just gonna punch him. And I thought, you get to do that? That's so nice. I cannot say the same.
You could do that though.
But I'm gonna get beat up. It's not gonna be equal.
I don't think they.
Because I'm like, it's meant to men. That is this. Oh.
Yeah, but hold on. Are they saying that to you, or you were saying that to them?
They were saying that they were gonna go on a date with I don't know who, but if that other person wanted to do anything to them that they didn't want, they were just gonna look at him and punch him.
You could probably do
But then I'm gonna get it back. And
why are they gonna punch you?
Man, I don't know. They could be crazy.
But hold on. But are you saying that you don't think that they were gonna get punched back by the guys that
they might, but at least they have an equal chance to win. I will not have.
Yeah. Okay.
If someone wants to beat me up, they can beat me. That's the thing. And when they told me that, I'm like, I'm so envious.
Yeah. But do you carry around something like pepper spray?
Nah, no. If they're gonna take me already.
But why not be prepared, like, to defend yourself?
No, but there's another worry to think about. Oh, the pepper spray is.
Or an alarm?
Yeah, or a whistle.
Yeah.
I think that might make me feel
like around your
safer.
neck, just
an emergency one.
Yeah.
I have a friend. She's very pretty. She has very bad luck. All the weird things have happened to her. She carries two pepper spray.
Two pepper spray.
Yeah, and it has been occasions that she needed gold. I'm like, how does things keep happening to you? Yeah, so maybe because of her, I'm scared.
Yeah, no, I get it. At the same time, I don't get it because I'm never gonna be in that position. But you know, like I can understand why you have to be cautious and you can't just relax all the time with those things.
Yeah, I wish I could punch back, but have a
try.
No,
But you haven't been in that situation where you needed to before, either.
There was one time that I felt very, very scared. Very. So there was this guy. He was super high on cocaine, and he came back, and he was like, "Oh, you should be my girlfriend," blah blah blah. And I was like, "No." And he was upset with me because he wanted me to be with him for the night, and I told him no. He left. He came back super high, and it was me and him in the house. The rest of my friends were asleep, and then he grabbed me here in the neck, like a dog, and he prepared lines on the table, and he's like, "Oh, I know you want to snort this, and you're gonna do it with me," and I'm like, he was so in his trip.
Was this in Mexico?
No, in Vancouver.
In Vancouver.
Yeah, and I was very scared and thinking, what am I gonna do? And I felt his strength in my neck, and I thought immediately, because I have brothers and I used to fight with them, there is a point that you know you're gonna lose. When they're getting stronger, you know you're gonna lose. So it's more like get out and run. So I felt that there, and I was like, I cannot fight here. What am I gonna do? And then he was forcing me to be seated in his leg, and I'm gonna fuck you after this. I was so scared. I was like, what am I gonna do? And I wanted to cry, but I was very scared and I was so angry and I was so frustrated that I couldn't hit him. I couldn't get into a fight. But he wasn't feeling anything. He was, you know how they get. So he was really like that, and I thought, oh, this one looks like a horse. Even if I beat him with a pan or something, it's not gonna hurt him. Yeah. So the only thing that I could do when he was snorting all the lines, one after other, and he's like, the last one is for you. And I felt so much pressure. And the only thing that I could do was like, if that makes you feel bigger, like I do it, but you know inside you're a loser. The only thing I thought I could do was like hurt him with words. And at the end, he ended up crying. And I was like, you're a loser, nobody wants you. I knew good things from him, not even much. Like, your mom doesn't want you. I started saying whatever I thought could work, and he let me go, like, fuck you, and you're worth nothing, and you're a whore, and things like that. And then I was like, yeah, you're still a piece of garbage. Yeah. In the outside, I pretended to be so calm and so like I don't mind and so brave. I was shaking. Yeah. And I left and I went with my friends and, oh my God, this happened to me. And then I cried and then I was super, and I thought in that moment, I wish I knew how to fight or how to do anything else. If that didn't work, I don't know what would have happened.
But it did work.
It did work.
It did work. But have you not thought about taking like some self-defense classes?
Yes, I thought I was gonna do that, but then I paid for dancing. Something that I will enjoy more. Yeah, but I would like to.
It would be good to know.
Yeah, that was the closest interaction that I had to an assault. Or maybe that's assault already.
I don't think there's definitely some kind of assault. Yeah.
Not good.
But it's good that you escaped in one piece.
Yes. When I got the experience. I know. You have had a situation that you're like, oh my God.
No, there was one. It was really weird, but I did feel a little bit in danger. In Australia. No, it was in a small town where I used to do farm work, and I was there visiting a friend. I was driving in my car, living in my car.
You had it all night.
Yeah. And I stopped to this car park, and I went to go brush my teeth in the toilet. And then there was this guy who came up to me, and he's like, "Do you know where the single men's is?" And I thought he meant like the urinal. So I just said like, "There's a toilet there." He's like, "No, but you know where the single men are?" I don't know. Sorry, mate. He's like, okay, but are you interested? And I say, no, thank you.
He wasn't good looking. That's the problem, yeah.
Well, also a man, so. And then he's just standing there, and then his friend comes. And,
I know.
And they were like blocking the doorway almost. I'm just there brushing my teeth, and they're just staring at me. And then I go to leave, and for a minute they didn't move. But then they did, and I was shitting myself. Like, what the fuck is going on? And then I just sped walk to the nearest pub, like 2 minutes away. I go in, I'm like, this just happened, can you call the police? They're like, yeah, we can call the police, but it's 11 p.m. Like, the police come from half an hour away, you know, so I just stayed in the pub for like 20 minutes, and then a guy walked me back to my car, and I drove off. Like, I felt, I was shaking as well, but I know I definitely wasn't in as much of a risk as you were.
But they were too.
Yeah, they were too, yeah.
It's a vibe that you're like, what the fuck is gonna happen to me?
Yeah. It was very uncomfortable.
Yeah. And with the girls, have you had any crazy one?
I've had any crazy experiences with girls? No, nothing like that. And at the same time, it would be very unlikely that they could put me in you know, when it's a man, like maybe if he's bigger than me, it could be complicated. Even if he's not bigger than me, it could be complicated. But to be physically at risk from a girl, it would be very unlikely. She was a big girl, yeah.
Yeah. Maybe not a girl.
Maybe not. No, so I can't say so, no.
That is nice. That is very nice.
But I think it's very rare that women make men feel really uncomfortable in those situations.
I think there is some girls that are strange and have weird vibes.
Definitely, yeah.
But not physically, like the things they say and the faces they make, and it's like, what?
Yeah. But I think they're very few and far between.
I hope so. I don't know many girls to say, but I do hope so.
Well, yeah.
It's a tricky situation.
No, but in general, I think I've been very lucky. I was robbed in Barcelona. That's been like the worst thing that happened to me.
Like,
more complicated than that. Like, I was drunk. That was how the story started. Like, I was blackout drunk. I would go to the hospital. They fixed my, like, I have a scar here. They stitched my face up, and I left the hospital, and I didn't realize, like, I was drunk and concussed. And then I got taken to an apartment, and they had like no lights on. There were just candles. Or like 15.
Very romantic.
Quite the opposite. And I'd put my phone on the table.
And they do.
Yeah. And they took me to the street and they sent me on a wild goose chase. But yeah, it was a combination. I was 19, you know, I was first time I'd ever tried tequila that night.
Oh, he could be an enemy or a friend. It's a very complicated guy. But that is so strange, and it's good that they didn't do anything else to you.
No, they kicked me a few times, but they took my phone, my wallet, my passport, everything.
What did they take the passport for?
It was just in my bag, and they took my bag. So that was again another stupid thing from
going on with the passport.
Yeah, but I was on holidays. I just got to Barcelona. And I had everything with me, so yeah.
And did you have any friends, or were you solo?
No, I went to a hostel by myself.
That must have been a night, and the day after.
The day after, I mean, I got home at like midday, because I went to the police station right after. At the end of the night, after I left the hospital for the second time, there were these two guys on the street, these locals. And they saw me crying, and they say, okay, the police station doesn't open until 8 a.m, but we can go to a bar. So we went to a bar. They paid for like two drinks for me. And then I just went to the police station after, and I was there till midday. And I get back to the hostel and just crash.
I don't know how you continue the solo travel after that experience.
That was before everything. That was before I went to Australia.
Yeah.
But I said, I had a lot of supportive people in my life, and I said that I don't want this to be like, I don't want this to stop me before I go. I hadn't even got started, you know.
And I'm already wrong and sad.
Yeah, no. I couldn't let that cancel the plan.
Oh, that is very brave.
I just, like we were talking about earlier, and you said that Mexico is not an option for you. The UK was never an option for me either. So
You're like, fucking, let's see what's next.
Exactly.
Yeah, you have to go to Mexico. I think you're gonna like it.
I think so too.
It's dangerous, but well, as I told you, I'm permanently scarred. But it's very nice, and we don't have a way to make everything a joke. Everything is fun. The other day, I was with a friend, not a friend anymore, but he was in his mind, and I asked him, "Where are you?" And he said, I'm in the middle of a crossroad. And I'm like, okay, and what are the streets or what's going on? And he said, one is joy and the other is sorrow. And I thought, wow, very deep. And I told him, man, just pick one. Go joy. And he said, no, I'm kind of stuck and I've been stuck here for a while. And he was so sad, he was like depressed. And I told him, so put fire on them already. And he's like, what do you mean? I said, yeah, if it's that bad, make it worse. So at least it's funny. You can say like, yeah, it's burning. He didn't get it. He's like, you're trying to make fun of it. And I, yeah. If you're not gonna pick any road anyway, just burn it anyway. Like, make it fire, make it nice. And he's like, I don't get you. And I told him, no, you don't get me. You have to go to Mexico to get this kind of things. If something is bad, make it worse, so at least you can laugh at it.
It's one perspective, yeah.
It's a perspective. So then, sometimes in my life I'm like that. Something bad happens, okay. What could go worse, so I can at least laugh at it. Maybe not now, but later.
Yeah. So have you traveled much in Mexico?
No.
No.
No. I only went to Los Cabos, La Paz, and places close to Guadalajara. That's another thing. It's like traveling inside of Mexico is not cool. Now it is, but before, oh no. You haven't been to the States? No. There are places I want to see there.
Yeah. Why don't you do that before you go somewhere else?
I was thinking that too, because there is a desert in Sonora that looks so nice, and I was thinking maybe I can feel the sun there.
Yeah.
We have many nice things, and I know the food is gonna be good for sure.
Yeah, of course.
But I don't know. I have to sit and think what I'm really looking for, because I don't know if it's a physical place or a feeling or I don't know. Or if I already have it within.
Home is where the heart is.
Yesterday, for the first time, I felt at home here in Montreal.
Yeah? What made you feel at home here?
I was chilling in a bench, and then I thought, yeah, there is when I go to the dancing classes, and here is the bank. I haven't felt like that since I was a kid. Also because I moved houses, and I moved schools, so it was never like very familiar, only for a little period of time. But yesterday it was like, I was living here. Not resident of Montreal, living, truly.
But you say was like it was in the past.
Yesterday I was living. Today I'm resident again. Because it's hard. Sometimes, I don't know, sometimes you are physically present. Like we were saying the other day, and you look back and it was so nice. But when you were there, it wasn't so nice. You were there?
But were you living in Vancouver then?
No.
No. You were just a resident in Vancouver.
Oh, yeah. I'm more like a prisoner.
A prisoner, wow.
Every day I was thinking, when can I get the passport? When can I leave? This is not the life for me. I knew it. But yesterday, I thought, nothing. I didn't think anything.
How long did that feeling last?
Maybe 2 hours.
2 hours.
When I was walking with my dog and then we sat down. I finally. Today I had it too. It comes and goes, and I'm trying to make it more steady.
But you also don't want to be here.
Exactly. But that's the question. I don't want to be here, or I don't want to feel like I don't want to be here. Oh, now you're getting. In the summer, I think it'll be fine. But you know what?
The summer comes to an end.
Yeah, and I'm not living right now, in this very moment, because
this very moment.
Yeah, I mean, my mind is not fully here. It's thinking, the sweaters outside is waiting for me. The summer is coming to an end. The winter is coming.
The summer hasn't even started
You
yet.
see, and I'm already in the winter. It happens.
Yeah.
It's it's like in the background. Sometimes it bothers me more, sometimes less. But I do feel it like a little wheel spinning in the back. You too?
There's a lot playing on my mind. There's a hell of a lot playing on my mind, yeah. Because it is really beautiful. Last year we had a nice summer. And the winter, I thought it was gonna be worse, but at the same time, I think to some extent I haven't acknowledged like how much it affected me. You know, like I said to you today about my window, and I hadn't thought about that. Like it crossed my mind, and I've always been conscious about it, but I hadn't necessarily really acknowledged like that is the only space I can see to the outside, and half the time it's shut.
Yeah.
So that definitely affects. And I work inside, you know. I work.
With the other little window.
I just have these tiny little windows, so I think I'm very disconnected from the outside world.
Yeah, you definitely are.
Yeah.
You need out.
I need out. I need more outside. But that's the thing. I always used to like. I've been working a lot of construction jobs for the past few years, and I've spent more time outside. But no, this has been a very inside experience, and it's something I love about Australia. It's very outside.
In Vancouver, I felt like if I was a candle, and the fire was still there, yeah, but barely. When it really affected me. It made me so sad thinking that my whole essence was that fire. But now here in Montreal, I get to see that I'm the whole candle. Because in the winter, poof, the fire struggled. It really did. But it didn't bother me as much because I thought, yeah, but I'm the full candle too, and the stick and the plate. There is things.
And do you prefer similes or metaphors?
What is similes?
Similes are when you compare something, so you're saying you are like something, and a metaphor is saying that you are something.
I am.
You prefer metaphors?
Yeah, but you call them metaphors, and in my mind it's not metaphor because I don't have the words to express the feeling. The feeling for me is an image.
Yeah.
In my head I'm seeing it.
Yeah.
But I don't know how to say it with words.
You are expressing it with words.
But if I didn't explain the image, I don't have a way.
You're just speaking metaphorically.
Yeah. Ooh.
And that's okay. That's okay.
Some people struggle with that.
I mean, like when you told me the other day about how how people tell you about that, you know, because sometimes when I first met you and like not understanding what you were saying, it's like we were speaking the same language, but
this one is fucked up.
Yeah. I just didn't realize that you're not speaking literally. Yeah. I mean, you are in a sense, but
in
not
a parallel world.
Yeah, exactly.
It is strange, but I do wonder how other people's minds work.
How people mind work.
Yeah, like yours.
I don't know how people do, especially a job like mine, how people do this for years and years. People who work in a warehouse as a livelihood.
No.
People do it for 20, 30, 40 years.
No, they're not. No, they're living in the parallel world.
And what are they doing in the other parallel world?
Living the true life. I don't know. I found so many people that in the now they're thinking when I am, when I have, when I do. And then when they are old, why I didn't do this, that. It's like a double trap, like the finger trap.
Chinese finger traps. Yeah.
I don't like that at all. I don't want to miss the trip to get to the end because then you miss the whole thing. I want to be fully present at all times.
And do you never get lost in the future or the past?
In the past, sometimes, because I like to really feel things, and in the future, it gives me anxiety. Sometimes I prefer to put that one away.
But how do you keep yourself grounded?
I think talking to my friends, to my family, with my dog. She has no worries. She only cares about eating today. So
And going for walks.
Yeah, and she's not thinking when are we gonna leave. She doesn't care.
Yeah.
I am very thankful to have her, because I'm planning this, and she's just there in the bed like, again, and she's gonna go with me wherever I take her. But I do get inspiration from the animals, from the nature. You know what I really like?
What do you really like?
The little flowers. Like you go out now and they're coming out.
They're coming out, yeah.
They're not worried about anything. They know they're gonna come out again.
Well, I mean, lots of them die.
Yeah, but lots of them don't.
I think most of them die as new ones, no?
I don't know.
But are you talking about trees? Are you talking about tiny flowers? Because I think most of the flowers die.
The flowers die, but somehow the same thing comes back. And nobody has to water it. It comes all alone.
Yeah. Are you talking about like dandelions and stuff?
I guess so. There is a little ones that are alive even through the winter.
Yeah?
I saw them in Vancouver and I was very impressed.
But it doesn't freeze over there in Vancouver.
No.
It does freeze.
Here it's strange, but the other day I was thinking that in the world, like even the birds, you see them how they are, and every little feather is perfectly made, most of them, and it's placed in the perfect space so they can fly.
Yeah.
So they can do their things, and it's a cycle, and they're not worried about mortgage, line of credit, nothing. So I think we are made of the same things. If we stop worrying and start being, that's it.
And you really want to move into the whole like capitalism talk now?
Eh?
You really want to move into the whole capitalism talk now?
You told me there was no limits. So
of course. No, but we've kind of been pushed into this system.
Yeah, the capitalism. We are pushing the system. Who made it?
The rich people.
And why? Who told them?
People were greedy.
Yeah, for what?
I'm asking the same question.
There are some people that even, I don't know, my dad, for example, he's very close with some things, and he's like, you are too much like a boat. You are too much like this. You need to settle. You need to get married. You need to have children. For what? What's the purpose of humanity, or what for you? To conquer the world and then make a bridge from here to Mars and conquer it too, and then the galaxy? No. And he's like, yeah, you have to have some savings. He truly believes it.
And unfortunately, there is some, not the whole like marriage and kids thing, but the savings part is a little bit important there.
That part is important because the way things are shaped now. But why do we have to own a house? Who put the rules? Who said some things are good, some things are bad?
Well, supposedly collectively we made those decisions, but it wasn't very collective.
It wasn't me. I'm out. Yeah, I'm out.
No, at the end of the day, these collective rules were from a small group of people.
Sometimes I do feel an outsider.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
On the planet.
Yeah. Because I don't want to feed, but I have to, but I don't want to. But at the same time, I want shiny buildings.
Yeah, that kind of goes against the. Why do you want shiny buildings?
I don't know. I like. I do really like. But today, I was thinking more. I wish, like I thought, my job is distracting me from living my true life.
Yeah.
But no, it's giving me the money to do the true life. But why? Why it has to be an exchange? Who invented the money? Why can we? There is enough things already. Stop producing.
Definitely have enough resources, yeah.
Stop producing, stop doing things, stop selling. Yeah, give equally. We're good.
Why don't you give up everything and go live on a commune?
Because I think I will need my things. You see? No, I really don't know. I was thinking, if I do
Try
that,
it.
try it. Go to Bhutan.
Bhutan. And don't you have to pay like $1,000 a day or something?
I don't know, but then it, all these fears that I don't know if they are mine or if they were imposed. What my parents are gonna think that I'm a loser, that I got wild. I don't care about it, but I do care about hurting their feelings.
How do you think that would hurt their feelings?
Oh, my dad would say, "You're a deception," and my mom too. Why did you do this instead of that? You had a career. It's not gonna be perceived as something good because it's not what they expect me to.
But do you consider that to be hurting their feelings?
Yeah.
I see hurting your feelings is like a personal attack on someone.
Exactly. And
But you're not personally attacking them.
No, but they might take it as that because my dad says.
Is that your problem?
No. It's true. It's not. And it's my life. I really want to, but I do have that fear, the society.
This reminds me of in Australia. Everything's about Australia.
Mm-hmm.
During the pandemic, I had a friend from the States, and his sister was getting married. This was in like 2021, and when I first met him, he told me like, "Oh, I'm going back to California in a few months because my sister's getting married." And then I asked him like, "What? Do you want to go?" He's like, "No, but I have to. It's my sister's wedding." I'm like, "Well, but do you?"
You polluted his mind.
I said, if you don't want to go, like, why are you gonna go? And he's like, I never even considered that was an option. I'm like, dude, you're here in Australia. We have the best life right now. You can do what you want, and you didn't even think it was an option to stay here. But you have a visa and everything. Like you this is your life.
Exactly.
This is your life. We're in the most crazy situation right now, and you wanna just
leave it.
Yeah.
To comply.
Yeah. And then he ended up having a lot of problems with his family after that because he didn't go. Yeah, of course. Yeah. But he told me like, if it weren't for you, like, he would have gone back to the States. He would have gone. Like, it never crossed his mind.
I wish he told the parents who gave him the idea. I hope he did. This one?
I think in the end, his parents were okay with him, but his sister like stopped talking to him. I think now maybe though. I don't know. I don't speak to him. We fell out over capitalism.
Yeah,
he's pro Elon Musk and Donald Trump and
those weirdos. I know.
Yeah, shout out Steve if you're listening. I don't think you are.
I don't think so either. Yeah, but you are right. These are lives. When I was that children, like a child, I always thought, what does it really mean to be free? And I thought being free meant to do what you want with no consequences. But now I don't think that is. It is embracing the consequences too, but truly do what feels aligned with you, not with the others. It is so hard to distinguish.
Yeah.
I want true freedom.
Do you believe it exists?
Yes. I think we are our own lock and key.
Where do you find the key?
Inside.
It's like a magician's trick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
you swallow the key when you're a kid and you have to like
did you open it? You have to be okay with that.
Yeah.
And there is all these things. I was talking to a friend, he's having problems with their marriage. He's my age. And he's telling me he's having problems because I don't know who cheated on who. And then I was like, but who calls it cheating? You're never allowed to feel anything for anyone anymore once you get married because then you'll be punished. Who said it? I don't think that's natural. And maybe two people can be okay with being together because you can feel strongly about someone. but also have desire to be with someone else. That doesn't mean you stop loving this one. And that should be allowed, I think.
Do you believe in marriage?
I don't know what it means anymore.
What does it mean to you?
Nice ring.
What?
A nice ring.
A nice ring.
And a compromise to the society and immigration.
Do you think it's funny because I don't see it as a compromise to the, like, for me the idea of it being a compromise to society, like, no, I see it as like a commitment to another person.
But what do you commit to? To give up your own desires?
Well, I see it as like, I like to think that it would be with like your perfect partner, you know? Yes. If you get really lucky and it's just like a one-time thing and you're there, you're in for the long ride. I know I think that's kind of a dream world, but
no, that's good too. But what if that perfect partner or you at some point in life things changes, blah blah blah, you feel I want to be with this person too. Just one time too.
One time?
Yeah.
Why?
You feel it.
I really don't think I can justify infidelity though.
Who called it infidelity?
I call it infidelity, and lots of people call it infidelity.
Yeah.
But who was the first one?
I don't know. Where did that come from?
No, I met a Peruvian dude last year, and he told me that he was married for like 10, 15 years, and he told me that he doesn't believe that humans are monogamous.
I think so too.
But I see a lot of people who are.
No, you can definitely do it.
Yeah.
But that doesn't. It's a bit like you are crossing yourself a bit. Don't desire this. Don't look at that. Don't feel like this.
There's definitely stems from religion. Yeah. But at the same time, I think
the same place as the capitalism.
Religion.
I don't know, but the same rules imposed that before didn't exist.
Maybe.
I don't know. Because I don't think the first ones, the ones that were hunting, they said, you have to be loyal to me forever. I don't think they even were worried about that.
No, but I think like the alpha males could be with whoever they wanted, and like the beta males couldn't be with anyone, you know, which is kind of how it works now, but just there's a bit more structure.
Yeah.
And like it's a bit more evenly divided, I think.
So you think maybe we are the same as we were before, but now we are more structured?
Yeah, to an extent. I think that we value different things now, and it's not just like back then it was about survival, and now it's not just about survival. We acknowledge that it's not just about survival, but people are still drawn to each other for that reason, for resources, people who can gather resources of not just speaking economically or whatever, but
I feel like the game, what is it called? Age of Empires.
I've never played.
Dude, it's a classic thing. You have to check it.
Are you a big gamer?
No, but I played it.
Okay.
You build your things and then you go level 2 and you can make a nicer building and da. What's the end of it? I don't know. I thought it was to get to a place where you're comfortable, so you can sit and enjoy what you've built.
But no.
It doesn't seem to be going that way.
Are you talking about the game or real life?
I think the game reflects the real life. We're getting deep here. There's too much going on, you think?
There's a lot going on. We have to deal with a lot of things in life.
With the mind, mainly. I thought before, if we could leave the mind aside, we could fit in society perfectly. Work, save, get married, have children, never feel anything, never question why you're doing what you're doing. Never feel guilt, never feel bad, never feel sad.
The mind, you think it's the mind?
And
you don't think it's the soul, I was gonna say.
Yeah, I think it's both. I think the soul wants out. Do you think that we, like our souls, are one thing and the way we look just happens to be, but they don't necessarily go. They were not made one from the other.
You mean if our souls and our bodies are connected?
They are, but
Souls and our minds are connected.
But I don't know, like you met one person and you're like, you don't belong to this body. This body was given to you, but you are, I don't know, you're horrible inside and you look so beautiful, or you're so beautiful and you're ugly as fuck. Have you met that?
I don't think so. I think I try not to take that into consideration too much.
The physical?
Yeah, I feel like we are who we are, you know? Like, do you feel like your soul found the right body?
No.
How do you imagine the correct body for your soul?
I don't know, it will be different. But my friends, they tell me, you forget that you are pretty. I do. I forget my face completely. And I think sometimes that puts me in positions that I don't want to be, because people can misinterpret being nice. But if I was ugly, I wouldn't have these issues. I'm happy with it. I'm very lucky, but I don't think it matches my energy.
Would you prefer to be ugly?
No. No.
So you're happy that your soul found the wrong body?
Yes. Yes, I think it's an extra, it's an added. You know that we have to be the ugly but cool.
Ugly but cool.
You know those ones?
Ugly. I don't want to call anyone out here, but
but you don't know that the ugly ones cannot be mean. The ugly ones have to be cool.
I think I've met some mean, ugly people before.
Those ones are gone. Those ones are lost. Those ones, you see, they don't match their body and their soul and their mind or in whatever. They're cool and they look good, so that's why they think they can behave like that.
No, now I'm lost.
Like those ones that are mean and ugly.
And ugly, yeah.
Sometimes I think they are not ugly.
It's true, yeah.
So they don't align with the way they look.
Yeah. No, but I think as well, like, someone really beautiful inside can show on the outside, even if they're not conventionally attractive, like, because of how they are as a person, like, it really does show.
I think so too, and I think the outside affects the inside.
100%.
I wish we could see each other's
souls.
Yeah. Or even exchange for a second.
Do you think?
That would be nice.
Why?
Because I could get to see or to feel your world.
But how much of the world is like from my mind and how much is from my soul?
Both, I don't know, 50-50.
50-50. You think it's even split down the middle?
Sometimes. Other times 20-80. But I do wonder what yours will look like. Maybe it has rock music, I think.
Rock?
Uh-huh.
I don't really listen to rock.
No, but that's how I think it will feel.
No, I feel like my soul is more of a jazzy soul.
If it was a room.
If it was a room.
What would it be? What color? What things?
You put me on the spot here. Do you have an answer for yours?
No, but it would be colorful. It would have a slide.
A ball pit.
It could be anything. It doesn't have to be real.
I'm really bad with visualization. That's a big problem that I have. Like, even when this is a problem that I've always had, like reading books. I can never
imagine.
Yeah, it was always really difficult for me to. When I read, I can't like picture things in my mind. It's really difficult for me. So
what way do you read?
How do I mean, I don't read much at the moment. That's another problem. But
you're getting all the problems out. Then maybe you like sculptures. You prefer to touch.
Sometimes.
Or to hear.
I like to hear. Yeah.
Like music does make you feel things.
Yeah.
That. So then if it was a song, what it would be? What instruments?
I think I would give you a different answer, like
every
any day
time.
of the week. Yeah.
Me too.
No, like I feel like right now the anthem of my life is Baile Inolvidable.
Ah.
Like that's just my life right now, you know.
Sí, está bueno.
But yeah. Now you're just taking me all the way over there. Like I'm thinking of all the things I've been thinking of recently. Because I was thinking the other day, like if you had to think of your 100 like top songs of all time. 100's too many, but like how would you even take those? Like they're your all-time favorite songs?
Yeah. And are they related, yours, or are they all random?
I think there would be a mix of everything. But like right now in my life, I listen to a lot of Latin music. But I would have to take myself back 5, 10 years, 15 years.
Yeah. And then you hear Tuana music from before and it takes you back there.
A little.
I like.
What's the anthem of your life right now?
At the moment. Depends on the day. But you know, the xylophone. Something
like that.
I think so.
You know, something else is supposedly people either hear the music or they hear the words.
Wow. There is a singer that you should listen to. I do hear the music. I've heard the songs many times. I could not sing it. I don't know the lyrics. It takes me places. Aurora. Some of the songs feel scary, but if you sit with that, sit through that and allow yourself to feel that.
Yeah.
It's very good. It's very intense. It connects me to my inside world.
But what kind of genre is it?
No idea. I don't have any idea, and the songs are so different. And
but do you feel in general more connected to the music or the words?
If it's, for example, rap, I can't listen to it. The beat bothers me because it's repetitive, and I'm like, change it. It's the same thing. I cannot listen to the words.
So you don't like reggaeton either?
Some of it, because I'm so used to the same beat. But I'm like, okay, what's the song about now?
The same beat.
And same with la bachata.
Okay, still going. Wait, what was the... I don't know, I'm having fun. I don't want to cut the conversation short, but we've done like an hour and...
We must bring the questions from my feet.
You want to finish now?
I don't care. But we can be here until tomorrow. You know, you see I have topics.
Yeah. No, we really could just keep talking and talking.
Whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like kind of. I could go on. I could go on asking questions and back and forth like this. No, we'll come to an end here. Do you want to ask me anything else before I ask you the last question?
I don't know what to ask. Are you comfortable?
Yeah.
Okay. That's the question.
That's the question.
Yeah. Me too. Oh, you can ask.
Okay.
Okay.
The last 3 questions for today. So the question from the last guest, which is a mutual friend of ours. Is there a thought that you regret thinking?
I don't really understand the question. That's the truth.
Is there a thought that you regret having? Like, not something that you regret doing, but something that you regret thinking?
Yes, I think I regret thinking, believing that I could know someone just based on how they made me feel. That's it, I think.
What question would you like to ask the next guest?
Let's give it something not so deep because we can go.
It could be anything.
It might be sad, it might be happy, depends on your next guest, but if you could decide when or where would it be? If someone tells you, okay, you have, I don't know, 6 months left, 8 months left, whatever, doesn't matter the time, what would be the perfect circumstance for you to say, I'm done, thank you, fully happy? Good luck to the person.
Yeah. Okay. And finally, what message would you like to share in your language?
I would say, I don't even know anything. Now I'm nervous. I would say, no te estreses, todo pasa, todo cambia.
And can you translate for anyone who doesn't speak Spanish?
Yeah, don't be stressed.
Mexican, sorry, that was.
Yeah, I forgot. Everything changes. Another thing that I don't remember.
Don't stress.
Yeah, don't stress.
This was a lot of fun.
It was very good. It
So
felt
thank you.
nice.
This is our first real conversation in English as well.
Yeah, with the other Mr. Ben. It's the truth.
It's the truth. Yeah. Do you think that I'm more interesting in English or Spanish?
In Spanish?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Mr. Ben is more reserved.
I think you've had a very relaxed Mr. Ben here today, so.
It felt so comfortable, almost like if we had music.
Yeah, but I don't think I can do that for like copyright and stuff.
Yeah, but it felt like we had.
Yeah.
Like, no?
Yeah.
Almost like we were lying in a blanket.
Watching the stars
I wish, but I imagine us in an outdoor park.
in an outdoor park. Yeah. Well, you can't watch the stars.
Nothing.
So.
Well, maybe through there if you. I know.
Well, thank you everyone for watching. This has been episode 28 of Backpacks and Stories.
Be present, don't be stressed.